Today's video is brought to you by Oxedo LED lighting. You might think that you can see just fine at night. Well, I did too, until I did this little upgrade. As you can see from this footage, here is some before Oxedo LED lighting, and here is some after Oxedo LED lighting. The difference is amazing. With high brightness and easy installation, Oxedo LED lighting is definitely the route for you. They're easy to install, and they're available for all makes and models. Click on the link in the description below and enter promo code 612motorsports at checkout to get yourself 15% off. Now back to our video. Hello and welcome to another episode of 612 Motorsports. My name is Sean, and today I have something pretty exciting in store for you. The other day at work, I went on a tour of a tire retread plant, and I was fortunate enough to be able to bring the camera along, so I am going to show you that footage. But first I have a little explaining to do. I was recording this, and I filled up one SD card and switched over to another. When I went home later that night to start editing that video, the first SD card said it was corrupt, and so basically I lost that little bit of footage that I started recording. So basically what you'll have missed is the tires coming in from wherever they're coming from and getting dismounted from the rims. Sometimes the rims are not aluminum, they're a metal rim, so they would be, the rim is actually, which is pretty cool, sandblasted and powder coated right there, and then when the tire gets recapped, it gets put back on the exact same rim and sent to the exact same location that it came from. So you always get your set of rims back, which I thought was kind of neat. So you'll see them scan stuff once in a while, and that's just showing where it is in the line and who it belongs to. You're going to see from that point on, and it's pretty interesting. So here's that video. Hope you enjoy.
Actually, in a number of applications, retread can get to a steer axle as well. Anything that does get retreaded in the steer axle, there's a special tag placed on it so it can be identified. And there's obviously higher criteria for it, but we are capable of doing that too. Some industries don't allow for it, but especially in like waste hauling, regional delivery, you'll see it more common and more frequent in those applications.
If you're long haul on the road, probably not the best application. Then you're better out bringing in steer tires and generating more casing so you don't retread them.
Right. And anytime you're hauling any kind of combustibles or fuel or people, it's not allowed either by DOT. But
Safety first.
so he's loading the line right over here, and you'll be able to watch the hook come down. You can hook the tire, pick it up, put it on the monorail, and from the point it goes back through and gets off the line, that tire will not touch the ground again.
That's the reason we can have one employees that are doing the shop, minimizing vegan employees. Not that they ain't hard working at all, but it helps minimize the cost.
Yep.
Down here. In the application where they're going to do a lot of penetrations in there, you can't afford to have downtime. So they mix two liquids together in the injection of the tire. And it looks like this inside of a tire. This was like a Bobcat tire, and they cut it off.
Okay.
So they could show what it looks like, and then when you can actually reuse that there, we'll grind that up. So it kind of looks like erasers, it feels like eraser material. And then they mix the two compounds together and inject it back into the tire. That's what helps us allow to keep the cost down. So we haven't got the cost of all virgin fuel going into you guys to have to charge a lot. So with that machine, we're able to keep our price down. They do a lot of like your little wheels are open tires. Anything and everything, all the way up. He does a lot of big 1324s for rolls and stuff like that, because it gives that more weight so they can lift it.
Right.
And they don't have to worry about tipping a load over.
Sure.
A lot of equipment that's on construction sites as well, material handlers and things like that, where you are very susceptible to this. The applications it doesn't work in is anything high speed. So you don't want this thing continuously running at 25 miles an hour. What it'll do is create heat buildup, and it'll actually break this compound down, and it turns into it kind of looks like this flaky, rubbery crap over here. And
Doesn't do
So
any
there's
good.
definitely an application for it, because you got a machine you can't afford to have downtime, constantly fixing flat, it can fully eliminate.
Covering it all.
He's already inspected this one here, but we'll just kind of show you what he does. He visually looks at the tire, and after he's done visually looking at the tire, making sure that everything's marked that might have to be done to it, tread design, everything else. Then he'll run this inside, and if there were a hole in there, a spark in there, down to the steel roller here, a little penetration in the liner, whatever you have, it'll make a spark on that there, and you'll pop on it, and then identify where that injury is, so we can make sure we mark that. Sometimes they're just so small you can't see them,
Right.
or if there's a nail embedded on the outside, it'll stuck on the outside down. And it allows them to pull that out so they can get into the system. Okay, Rich? Thank you. Yeah, just wait. We could spark it one time on outside with the control, I guess. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
That's what it basically is doing. Got the pressure turned up a little bit, so it's hard to hold that. And you don't want to put your fingers in the wrong spot, because you see what happens. Right, Rex? Yeah, there you go. So once they pass this inspection, and this inspection again, they're going to track the barcode, scan that barcode, it's going to pull it up, and they're going to track the brand, the series, the number of times it's retreaded, the DOT on it, if it fails, why it failed, and make sure the right tread's going to be applied as you go through. All that can be generated on a report, so you guys can determine what works best for your fleet. We had it thrown here every time a tour was coming through, so you can kind of see what happens. And what this machine does is called a stereography. It mounts up and goes in, there's two cameras mounted in there, and it takes a series of pictures and then displays it on the screen for us. So if you picture a separation in a tire, and it creates a 30-pound vacuum that pulls that tire away from the little separation in it, and then releases it. So you get a movement like this. And it displays it here. So any of these little images, like these little circles, are all separations in the tire. We had to put this one on so you guys can kind of see. Like this is what a normal tire would look like, nice and clean. A little bit of separations in there and there. But this is what it would normally look like if there's no separations at all. Then the operator of this machine also can operate the automatic bumper here, and then sort for the manual operator bumper on the other side. The manual operator on the other side can do about 2 tires to 1 on this one here. You hear a little rock in that tire right there.
Do this inspection on these casings is most of the failures that you guys see alongside of the road, whether they be blowouts or things of that nature, it's not that the cap peeled off of the tire. You'll see the steel actually in those tires on the side of the road. Most of it is because of casing failure. So when we are able to identify problems before we retread them, we can keep them from to prevent that from happening.
Anywhere there's a belt separation, this will pick up. It's one of the only ones out there, I think Band-Aid kid's the only one, that's my knowledge, that can do all the whole tire bead to bead. most of them out there will do just this here part from here to here.
Okay.
Until they come out with this one here, we were only able to do that too. About $120,000 sitting here making sure we're getting you a good product.
Right. Amazing.
There's what he's got, taking the tread off of the tires on the inside. You see it's really aggressive. The individual blades, we just put them in here as they were out for doing it. All our rubber dust goes out and we make rubber mats and stuff like that, so it's all recycled. Stay to this side as you walk through here a little bit. Generally in the face of the tire there's four belts for the most part. Some of them only have 3, but most of them have 4. And then your main body ply. We're able to remove them end 3 and make sure that it's got a good bonding area, and then we can tap over it. If it gets to the point where it needs a repair, he marks it and puts it in the center here, and then we do all the repairs on it. I'll show you a little bit in the repair area. So here's a repair that he did already. You see the repair put in the inside. And then what we do is we use uncured rubber after we drill the hole out and make sure everything's sound in there, no more rust or anything. We put uncured rubber in there, and that's going to cure into the tire just like this here is on the sidewall. It'll do the same thing.
Okay.
At this point, I'll ask you guys don't touch the face of the tire as much because the oils in our hands are a contaminant for the retreading process.
The reason for doing this versus, say, the old rope plugs that you might have seen in the past is those older rope style plugs will allow moisture to wick into that casing. And when you have a steel belted tire like this, moisture along with air is going to create rust. And that rust will actually migrate through the tire if you don't do it properly, which is eventually going to allow those steel belts to break and start coming apart and actually cause failure as well.
This is basically what the uncured rubber is. It just makes it pliable and it's heated up so we can move it around, level it off in the tire. This same ingredient is what's being put on top of the tire down there, and then we're going to cure our tire tread to that and to the tire at the same time. And I also want to go with the roll down over here, and then it goes down on the end and get the thin layer of uncured rubber put over the top, which makes it, instead of that buff texture you've seen on them, it'll look like this here. Then we put our rubber on top of that and we'll cure it from there.
No taking pictures.
Now you're so popular, right, Bob? So he's going to make sure it's scan the tire first like every other area, saying if you actually look at it, you can tell where it went through the cycle. So if you guys will recall, you can tell where the tire is in process. And then he's going to wipe it, make sure it's still clean. And then this here come down and broke the laser beam right here that runs across. That took a measurement for the other end here, telling how long to cut that tread.
Okay.
So I need to run this thread on. Got a little uncured rubber in the front here that'll cure the splice together. It'll run that out for the size of tire that it's going to be. It gives them a little window. You can move it forward and backwards, and it'll stretch it accordingly as it goes on the tire. So you can start in the middle of the lug, end up in the middle of the lug, and it doesn't look like there's even a seam there. For the other two, you start in the middle lug and you butt up whatever's left. But it'll hold together. But this is a little bit better looking of a tire. So you like to run a any of our high torque treads go across here, and then when they don't have any, they run stuff like this. Now it's going to apply that tread. You see the roller come down and do some stretching as it goes on, keeping it even all the way around the tire. We run all our steer tires on this machine as well. Make sure that get it close to perfectly balanced as we can. You see it's overlapping just a little bit. We'll put that splice together, staple it together, stitch the air out. These two rollers will come down and stitch the air out. And then it's ready for the next process. The staples hold it in place until it's in the chamber and cured together properly. We go through a lot of staple jerseys. So just making sure all the air is trapped out right now. Then we can go to the next area already if you like. So down here we're preparing them for the curing part. So the tire will come down like that. They select the proper size of envelope or sheet of rubber that goes over the top, put that on the machine, place the tire inside, and they'll come down here and create a seal. They got some rings here with rubber and the spring operated. They'll lock it in place, get the envelope over the top of the bead, place the envelope on it, or place the ring in it, create a seal so it can pull a vacuum down like you see in here.
Oh, yeah.
And it'll hold that there vacuum, then we know it's ready to go in the chamber. If it doesn't hold it, you gotta figure out why. Until it passes that, it cannot go in the chamber. You see this one's holding. This is what it'll look like in the chamber. Envelope will actually probably go down a little more than that when it heats up. Holds everything secure so we can cure it properly. Chambers are over here. We have 4 chambers or 5 chambers that are 22 tire chambers, holding 22 tires a piece, and one over there that holds 11. They're in there for about 4 hours and 4 hours and 20 minutes.
Well, that was the tire retread plant. Hope you all enjoyed that as much as I did. It was very interesting and educational. You know, I see retreads on the side of the road all the time when they explode. It was kind of neat to see how they put them on a tire. I've seen them come off a tire a few times, so it was kind of nice to see that. Well, that's about all I got for today. I am on the road and I'm just about to where I need to be. So I'm going to leave you with one final thought, and that is to stay positive, work hard, and make it happen. Until next time.